your Seafoam Santa.
Our fierce and always fighting for us Attorney General Keith Ellison is part of a lawsuit against Menards that finds victory for Keith and his fellow attorney generals. Menards has to pay $630,000 to Minnesota because of some contention about their 11% rebate deal.
Oh, that can pay for the new bathrooms for this year.
The state of Minnesota will receive a $630,000 settlement from Menards to resolve claims the Wisconsin-based home retail giant used deceptive marketing tactics with its well-known 11% rebate program.
You know how this works, Joe?
Well, let's just read the story, and then we'll worry about how it works.
All right.
Attorney General Ellison shared Wednesday the company will pay $4.25 million to a coalition of states involved in this suit, including Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. The settlement was filed yesterday in Ramsey County. The states alleged that the company engaged in false advertising by using phrases like 11% off or 11% off everything that indicated the customer was getting a discount at the time of purchase when the store only offered in-store credits towards future purchases using a mail-in rebate system. The company reportedly told customers that Rebates International was a separate business in charge of the 11% rebate program when it is actually just the same company as Menards. The suit also accused Menards of engaging in price gouging during the COVID-19 pandemic, spiking prices on highly sought-after items like rubbing alcohol, garbage bags, dish soap, and neoprene gloves.
Everything.
Yeah. An ad that says 11% off everything clearly implies that you can buy goods at an 11% discount, not that you can participate in a limited rebate program or get in-store credit for future purposes, said Ellison, who in that one paragraph has said more about Menards than he's ever said about $2 billion worth of fraud in the state of Minnesota. Today's settlement holds Mounds accountable because you got to hold people accountable,
Right.
except if you're a fraudster.
Feet to the fire.
Yeah. For how they advertised their rebate program in the past and ensure the program will be more honest in the future. Okay. So go ahead, Kenny.
Number one, everybody, the price spikes during COVID. That's almost every single retailer, big box retailer out there.
Keith
if you remember
determining that was unfair of Menards. I guess Keith gets to determine that.
But you remember, right? He shut down the Knack hardware stores, and kept the big box stores open. So then the big box stores, all of them, jacked their prices up.
That's
so go
right.
after all of them. But this 11% deal, anybody that's been there more than once knows how it works. You go there, you buy anything, a bag of Doritos, a can of paint, a paintbrush, doesn't matter. You go to the counter, you pay it off, the price, listed. They give you on your receipt, it says, take this rebate card, and it'll have a number or a letter on it. You go to a wall of mail slots that has rebate cards. You find the one that has to do with your product. You rip one off, you take it home. You include the receipt in the card in an envelope, you send it off. You get store credit back through the mail. So you collect enough of these. Yeah, John, look at John's got one right there.
You just fill this out with your receipt.
That's the rebate card. All you do is fill that out, send it in with the receipt, and they send you back store credit. And if you're like me, you let these things pile up, and then you go in there and you buy a high-ticket item for next to nothing. Exactly. It's absolutely wonderful.
Well, what's the contention then? What's the problem?
Because evidently some dum-dums walk in there thinking you're going to get 11% off instantly at the register.
How stupid do you have to be?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question, Matthew. I never thought that.
Yeah, that rebate process for decades.
Well, I can imagine Ellison being fooled by it, but I think the average person who goes and buys 2x4s is probably used to it.
Kenny's right. The first time, that's what I thought. I go in, I get 11%. But as soon as you see it in action, you immediately know what's going on. It doesn't work.
I think you're vastly underestimating the stupidity of the average American consumer.
Yeah, I think Chris is right. Maybe
about
that's
that.
what it is.
So this is really the government, the state, telling private industry to dumb down their plans.
Thank you. That's what we have to
Please.
do across the board in this country. We have to dumb everything down to the dumbest person, the slowest driver, the biggest idiot out there. That's what we all have
Well,
to
then there's
do.
another problem here. How is a monetary value attached to what would be considered merely confusion? In other words,
Oh, good point.
who is owed some money for this? Why does the state of Minnesota get $4.5 million? And I don't know how much of that the state will keep. Probably a lot. But
We'll get $632,000 from the settlement.
My guess is that the people that thought they were deceived, wouldn't they have to apply for some type of reimbursement through a state-ordered website?
But what are they seeking to be reimbursed for? It doesn't sound like there's any claims that Menards purposely tried to steal money from people. They didn't.
Right. They were not trying to
No.
trick people.
Nope.
But they're the 11% off. Okay, I probably would have thought, geez, I'm going to get that at the cash register, and then probably would have been told at the cash register. In fact, wouldn't that take place? I go and I buy my new pliers, and it's $15, and I say to the lady or the guy at the cash register, don't I get 11% off? And they give me don't they say, oh, here, you fill out
They
this
point you to the
rebate
counter.
deal.
They
They
to the
point
counter.
you to the rebate wall.
And then
Well, what did Menards do wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Now we're just dealing with lowest common denominator.
You're right.
LCD theory.
It's idiots.
You're
And
dealing
Chris-
with somebody who wants to take that literally and is unaccepting of the fact that's not the way Menards does it.
And then you require some effort to get the 11%.
And that's considered deception on the part of Menards.
Yeah.
Not in my eyes.
What a bunch of BS. Did you hear about we're going to build some new bathrooms downtown?
You can use that money.
Yeah.
Chris, there's no evidence in this Star Tribune story that this money is going to go to the consumers.
Don't tell me the state gets it. And
It
why
just-
should they?
The phrasing I'm seeing in the Star Tribune is Minnesota will receive $632,000. Which, how much?
To resolve claims. Okay, so presumably
I
somebody
didn't-
actually has filed a claim that they didn't get their 69 cents back when they bought a hammer.
Okay, that verbiage is not in my story. All right.
Joe, just for fun, what is 11% off a $15 pair of pliers?
$1.60.
Well, $1.50 would be
No,
10%.
here's a better
About
percentage.
$1.70.
Figure this out. First of all, how many billions in dollars do we have in loss to fraud?
We're
And now-
we're over $1 billion, and we don't know the end result.
What does $632,000 represent? What's the percentage?
I have no idea. I'm not allowed to do math on the show.
But Keith will go after that, but he will not do anything fraud related.
I would like to say something about the Menards thing that's beautiful, and I hope I'm not telling them a secret, Menards. But take Kenny's example, his $300 ladder that he bought with rebate stuff.
Yeah.
He also gets an 11% rebate when he buys a $300 ladder.
On that.
So,
Yeah.
double rebate.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And this is a program, by the way, that they've had for 100 years.
So what he's doing, in effect, is not protecting consumers. He's making it worse for us.
So, as veteran, John and Kenny, as veteran Menard shoppers, you were in perfect understanding of how they operated.
Oh,
Absolutely. I buy all of my house paint, exterior and interior, through Menards because of that rebate.
I have 2 rebates sitting up on my cork board worth about $19. Save it till I get a few more.
Cool.
You're going Scotland on us again, John.
Thank you
I
for
don't-
that
Now,
information.
when that happens to you, you don't know that that's happening, but we can.
I
we
do
can-
not. It sounds normal to me.
He said he has $19 in rebates on his corkboard waiting to be spent.
I not only want to live in America where the government has no obligation to provide restrooms, I want to live in America where the citizens understand rebate programs.
Yeah.
Just a small thing to ask, huh?
And
That's
the
all
attorney.
I want. And do I ask for that much?
Simplicity.
Well, what about the Attorney General? What does he do, Joe? in
I
your
would like to
world?
live in an America where Keith Ellison could not possibly be an attorney general.
That's even better.
Wasn't he a senator, right?
No,
Before this?
congressman.
Congressman.
And a lawyer.
He must have figured there's better scams if you're just an attorney general, however, allegedly. No, I don't know why he left. Who replaced him?
Ilhan. He paved the way.
Boy, there's a story to be written there, folks. It's a deep, deep mystery.
Well, wait a minute. Who replaced Khan?
Oh, Kenny might be right. Ilhan, I think, replaced
I think that is right.
Phyllis.
Yeah, but then that was for the state legislature.
We're getting bogged
Then
down in the
Ilhan
details.
left for Washington.
Do you think Ilhan Omar has ever been inside a Menards?
No.
Okay.
Yes. Khan was succeeded by Ilhan.
And then Ilhan fled to D.C.
Yes. Isle of Khan.
I've got a ladder that I am so proud of. I will not let anybody touch it. It's 10-foot, yellow, wonderful. Oh, my God, I love that ladder. Thank you, Menards.
I think the greatest point made was that Keith Ellison was deeply involved in arbitrarily and whimsically ruining small businesses during COVID.
Yep.
But big box stores, for no reason whatsoever having to do with illness or infectious diseases, was allowed to stay open. Of course they had to raise their prices. There's now a great clamoring for rubber gloves, and there's nowhere else to get them, apparently, because Keith closed down your corner store in Acme, Minnesota. That wasn't open, so you had to go to Menards or Home Depot or wherever. And now he comes along later and says, I am proud to be part of this effort to collect $4.25 million from Menards for the horrible way they've treated the consumer. When, in fact, they haven't treated the consumer horribly at all. They merely have a rebate program that morons can't figure out.
And for those of us keeping score at home, these things almost happen as a trilogy, right? Things happen in threes, because was it a year or 2 years ago, he sued Fleet Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's still in the works, by the way.
So who's he going to go after next year?
Why did you go? Oh, Fleet Farm was for the guns,
For the
right?
guns.
Straw buyers. And
right.
all the fleet farms followed these state rules. They did exactly what they're supposed to do, but yet Keith went after them.
Keith, you're a piece of work. You're an
Yeah.
interesting piece of work.
Well, I wouldn't call him a piece of work. It would be something
Right.
else.
No, I stuck with work. He's an interesting piece of work.
Politics is the family business.
It is. Especially if you can get the taxpayers to pick up your airplane tab. You know, he didn't, but he
know how to work
tried.
it. They
You
know
know,
how
you
to
got to
work
get. Keith probably told him, "Look, son, if you don't try, you'll never know."
Worst they can say is no.
Jeremiah applied for one of those rebates. And
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, right. Yeah, 11% back on Boston flights.